There was an oncoming semi, fully loaded, coming our way, and I was going to have a head-on collision with the semi, and we would come out of it unscathed because I was Jesus Christ. I was going to prove to them.
You're watching the Spotlight Network, starring Hollywood's newsman, Logan Crawford.
They now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
What happens when a young man falls into the darkness of addiction, delusion, and near death, yet somehow finds his way back through grace, survival, and love? I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're talking with an amazing author. His name is William J. White, about his powerful book. It is called The Voyage of a Wiseman. It is a true story of drug abuse, mental collapse, spiritual crisis, and the miracle that brought him back from the edge. This is a deeply personal book. This is a deeply personal conversation today about suffering, recovery, faith, and the lessons one man hopes can help save others. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Seven Chapter Literary for helping us put him on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. William, Joe, I know your friends call you Joe, so I'll take the liberty and call you Joe. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Great to have you on the show.
Good to be here, Logan.
What made you decide this was the right time to tell your very personal story?
Well, after over 50 years of sitting back and watching how societies around the world address the drug abuse issues, I'm rather disappointed because I don't think that the progress that needed to be made has taken place. The world is in great need for wise men, people who have been through tragic experiences and come out on the other side triumphant, in which to display the wisdom of these experiences to the benefit of these societies.
Yeah, I think the drug epidemic right now is really worse than ever. I mean, the drugs are more potent, they're more deadly, and everybody at this point knows somebody who's died of an overdose. I know at least two people relatively close to me who died of opioid addictions or fentanyl overdoses, and that's the new threat. When you were growing up, it was marijuana, and that's not nearly as dangerous as these other drugs. Talk to us about what it was like then versus now.
Well, back in 1971, I graduated from high school. After graduating, I got myself a full-time job, got out on my own, got my own apartment, and just, worked to take care of myself and hung out, basically. And through hanging out, I hung out with the crowd that liked to smoke pot. And so I got into smoking pot, and I got into a lifestyle that didn't offer me much sleep, partying all the time, working all the time. And like you said, it was basically marijuana at that time.
Yeah.
But even smoking marijuana to an extreme can be very detrimental to you physically and mentally.
Yeah.
And don't kid yourself. Even then, it was pretty bad after seeing what I've gone through.
Yeah.
And today, you're right. It's critically bad, and that's all the more reason that society needs someone with a great deal of wisdom to point them in the right direction.
Exactly. Did your marijuana use lead to alcohol abuse and other types of addictions as well?
Uh, no, I would say my curiosity led me to
Mm,
amphetamines. Uh, Lack of sleep made me tired, so I went on to the amphetamines that kept me awake.
yeah.
Basically, I was never a follower. I never succumbed to peer pressure. It was my curiosity that basically got me involved on a deeper level.
And there were some pretty frightening times in your youth when, by a switch of circumstances, you might not be here, right?
Exactly. Uh, like I say, I got into the drug culture of a small town that, that in which the marijuana came in through the college circuit,
Hmm.
and then it became rampant. And as I got into it more and more, like I said, I experienced a great deal of lack of sleep,
Hmm.
and it just put my mind in a frame in which it could be susceptible to what I call sinister forces.
Hmm.
And it all kind of came to a head when around March of 1974, I went with a couple friends to see the movie The Exorcist.
Mm.
Okay, we smoked pot, we were high when we watched the movie, and it was the most incredibly scary movie I had ever seen.
Yeah.
The special effects in that movie were such that were never seen before in movies, and it
Mm.
it really put an impact on me. I was raised a Catholic.
Yeah.
I know who Satan is. I know what possession is, and it really put an impact on me.
Yeah.
So over the course of the next few weeks, I started reading the Bible, and I read a little more each night, and then I became obsessed with reading the Bible. I was reasoning that the passages in the Bible were about me.
Mm.
I became delusional. I started preaching God and everything. I turned into a Jesus freak, quite
Mm.
frankly. And my friends kind of started avoiding me. My close friends stayed with me. And then I just became very delusional.
Mm.
I got to the point in which I actually thought I was Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And uh, and it really became dangerous when my friends and I drove my car. I was the driver towards Cedar Rapids down a two-lane highway. And uh, uh, just spontaneously, I fell into a delusion. I wanted to prove to my friends that I was Jesus Christ.
Mm.
So I was going to perform a miracle. There
Ah.
was an oncoming semi, fully loaded, coming our way, and I was going to have a head-on collision with the semi, and we would come out of it unscathed because I was Jesus Christ. I was going to prove to them that I was. Well, miraculously, my friend sitting beside me in the passenger seat grabbed the steering wheel just in the nick of time, and we avoided that head-on collision. And he calmed me down, so I kind of snapped out of it, and we went upon our business. But that was a very close call right there.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, like I said, by any change of circumstances, you would have been dead. After that incident, later, you were placed in a psychiatric ward and underwent some intense treatments, including psychotic drugs or antipsychotic drugs, chemotherapy, and shock treatments. Tell us
Well, the
what.
the thing that brought that on was a couple weeks after the near miss. We went to this club in Cedar Rapids,
Mm.
and I was playing on the pinball machine and doing all these dances. And I
Mm.
got up on top of the pinball machine and did a backflip off of it.
Wow.
I wanted to let the people, the crowd of college students, know that, hey, I was someone special.
Right.
Then I ran out into the intersection where cars were coming at 60 miles an hour toward me.
Mm.
I was going to zigzag around three cars to show that I could do amazing stunts. Well, fortunately, I was able to pull that off. But if
Mm.
any one of them drivers just decided to go this way instead of that way,
Yeah.
there's another time I would have been dead. Well, that night, the cops picked me up, called my parents who came and got me, and they transported me to the psych center of a local hospital.
Wow. Was that the turning point? Did you start to get back on a right track after that? You went through some intensive treatment. Well, did you continue with the drug use, or at that point did you say, okay, I've had enough?
Well, okay, so I spent 2 months in this rehabilitation
Hmm.
treatment center at the local hospital. I was given 7 different medications, stelazine, dalmine, lithium, thorazine, Valium, and Kenadrine. And they're all meant to kind of try to make you forget that you have delusions.
Mm.
Now, on top of that, they started giving me shock treatments.
Mm.
They started off with 2 a day, where 90 volts of electricity was zapped into my brain. And then at the end of the month, I started getting 2 a day. One day, I was even given 3 shock treatments with 140 volts of electricity zapped into my brain. Now, they put me under anesthesia, but the shock treatments, if they're doing their job, my body's convulsing violently,
Mm.
and it took away my memory for a couple of days, left me very shaky, but they thought it was necessary. I mean, the medical people thought it was a chemical imbalance induced by drug usage.
Mhm.
But I thought, well, more than that, I thought it was a sinister force that took advantage of a weak mind.
Mm.
So I had 19 shock treatments,
Wow.
and then my the insurance from my work was running out. The doctors conferred with my parents, who agreed that they couldn't afford any further treatment, so I would be shipped to the state institution where I would probably
Mm.
spend the rest of my life because all the treatments wasn't doing nothing to
Wow.
help me. So here I was, a 21-year-old young man sitting in a room, awaiting to be shipped to the state institution. But then a perfect storm happened. My sister came to visit me. Well, she was told I was to have no visitors, but yet somehow she convinced them to let her see me. She came into the room. I greeted her. Hi, sis. We're gonna have a banquet tonight. All the stars in Hollywood will be there.
Mm.
Even the Beatles will be there. No, no, you're my brother, Joe. No, this isn't going to happen.
Right.
I'm Jesus Christ. Of course it'll happen.
Wow.
No, you're my brother. This isn't going to happen. No, Joe. And I raised my hand in anger, and then I froze. My sister was cowering in fear before me. And then my hand just dropped, and I hugged my sister and I cried. I would never hurt you, sis. Never. I would
Wow.
never hurt you. And right there, whatever sinister force had a grip on my mind, instantly left it. And from then on, I was a perfect mental health. The
Wow.
doctors couldn't figure it out. They were amazed. But yet, they gave me another shock
Ugh,
treatment in the next week, and then they let me go home.
amazing. 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 It was a terrible era when it came to mental health. They really didn't know what they were doing. Thank goodness you didn't wind up getting a lobotomy or something. That was still being done
Exactly.
in that
Yeah.
era. Yeah, amazing, amazing. Almost at a time, your story is just absolutely compelling, absolutely amazing, and very, very timely because a lot of people are suffering through addiction. And like you said, addiction can lead to delusions, can lead to a mental health crisis. What's your message that you want readers to take away from your story?
I want the readers and those who are within my voice to realize that there are, dimensions of drug abuse that they few people really recognize.
Mhm.
In this world, it's spiritual warfare. It's good versus evil, and
Mm,
certainly there is evil, and we must be alert and sober-minded
mhm.
because we have to be disciplined because the devil is out there and he's
Yeah,
ready to engulf a weak mind. And if you keep alert and sober minded, you can avoid the pitfalls of what I went through. And I might add, I'm an anomaly. There's
mm,
there's nobody that went through what I went through to have the perfect storm of circumstances that allowed me my sanity back.
yeah,
I mean, by all rights, I should still be in an institution right now.
yeah.
But yet
By
I recovered, and God gives us wisdom. And the more you go through, like me, the more wisdom you have, which to help guide society away from this type of disease.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's an important message. It's a powerful message. The message is contained within the book, The Voyage of a Wiseman. It is William J. White's extraordinary true story of growing up amid the drug culture of the 1970s, descending into addiction and delusion, surviving shocking physical and mental trauma, and ultimately emerging with a message of faith, love, recovery, and hope for a society still battling the devastating impact of drug abuse. Joe, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I
Thank you, Logan.
I appreciate your time, your insight, the wonderful work you've done on this book, and of course, your candor. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time.